knows what that is.
Right. We ready? Are we ready?
We are, I guess we are. Are we ready?
Ready.
We're ready. So
All right.
it's your show.
Well, good afternoon, President O'Grady, Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Boyce, County Administrator Ken Wilson, and Deputy County Administrators. I'm Susan and Antoine. I'm Susan Brown, Director of Franklin County Child Support Enforcement Agency, representing the 268, currently staffed at 250, employees of the agency, including all of the senior staff who are here with me today. At the table with me today, I have Establishment Manager Kim Collins, who's our senior manager at the agency, also Assistant Director Lori Torriero. And I'd like to take a moment, since Kim is sitting next to me, to recognize today is her birthday. and that, and more importantly, Title 4D of the Social Security Act established the state child support programs, and the Act amendment was technically signed into law in January of 1975, so it's occasionally referred to as the Social Security Act Amendment of 1975. So in 2018, Kim Collins, our establishment manager, will have been with the program 40 of its 43 years in existence.
Wow.
And I'm not sure if that's close to a record of longevity for county service, but it may be.
Excellent.
Kim began her career in Franklin County, actually when I graduated from high school in 1978 as an intern secretary with the prosecutor's office while she was pursuing her associate's degree. And throughout the years, through the changes in agency leadership and reorganizations, Kim has held various positions, mostly in supervisory and management capacities. In her role, she had led the agency through its successes, its challenges, and through a complete evolution in the philosophy of the program. I have also witnessed Kim's perseverance and tenacity, and when anyone told Kim that she couldn't accomplish something, she set out to prove them wrong. For example, when challenged that she didn't have the academic background commensurate with her position, she shut down any doubt by earning her Bachelor of Business Administration and Management and her Master's of Business Administration and Organizational Management through an accelerated program in 3 years. So Kim has also met any performance goal that I've challenged her with, including having the highest establishment performance in agency history. And I want to thank Kim for her service, her leadership, her kindness, and her friendship, especially during my 10 years with the agency. Welcome.
Can we applaud now?
Thank you, Kim. All right, so for the 40 years, the child support program has shown deep commitment to program innovation, continuous improvement, and performance measurement. Our mission at the CSEA is to encourage responsible parenting, family self-sufficiency, and child well-being. The child support program locates parents, establishes paternity, establishes, modifies, enforces support obligations, and most importantly, secures child support for children. So 2017 has seen a whirlwind of activity, both in successes and challenges, and the agency continues to be a national trendsetter in the field of social sciences, evidence-based policy development through its implementation of 4 federal demonstration grants. It has led the effort in affecting legislative change through Senate Bill 70, which will streamline the child support administrative process, and through Senate Bill 125 and House Bill 366, which updates the 25-year-old child support guidelines and, among other provisions, creates a self-sufficiency reserve for low-income parents. Franklin County accepts its responsibility in taking state leadership roles and is proud to have Bill Peltz also with us here today, one of our enforcement managers, elected by his county peers, and he is the 2018 president of the Ohio Child Support Directors Association. In our measured performance areas, the agency continues to establish and manage its 70,000 cases, acknowledges the efforts and hard work of its support officers and the supporting staff who manage caseloads up to 1,000 cases. Despite the volume of work, Franklin County was recently recognized by the state for 2017, and we have some visuals here, as the best performing county in collections on arrears in a metro caseload division. The enforcement and litigation departments have collected $165 million in support payments and are committed to not only collect support from non-custodial parents, but also work with them in order to increase their ability to pay by establishing realistic orders and providing employment and subsistence supports through our intergovernmental and collaborative partnerships. Programs that connect and engage parents, especially fathers, to their children are equally important to the future of our communities. The agency is solidly within the fatherhood realm, and we have built strong partnerships with outcome-based parenting programs for our fathers. The agency establishment, hearing officers, and litigation departments have broken performance percentage records in the areas of paternity and support order establishment, and have also been recognized by the state as the 2017 most improved in the area of support order establishment for a metro caseload division. All the while, the agency has been spending many months and countless hours in addressing the most radical change in funding structure since the Deficit Reduction Act. After more than 20 years, the state is proposing to change the state allocation rule, which effectively reduces our state funding by almost a third and reduces our spending power by 3 times that amount. But for the county subsidy, which demonstrates the county's steady and strong commitment to maintain a solid county child support system and a safety net for families, the agency would not be able to operate, as it would lose almost half of its operating revenue, up to a third of its staff, and the program would be unable to provide the services that it does to families and the 80,000 children we serve. That being said, the agency is extremely conscientious of containing expenses and its commitment to stay fiscally responsible. In 2017, ODJFS conducted 2 state audits within the agency. The first was a county single audit, and the other was through the Bureau of Monitoring and Consulting Services. Neither review found any findings, questioned cost, or costs recommended for disallowance.
Before you continue, Susan, if I may, President O'Grady and Commissioners, I just want to really publicly acknowledge and thank Director Brown and her staff for the amazing effort in the pursuit of a more equitable funding solution for the 80,000 kids that you serve. The loss of that funding will be devastating, we know. But you've been, you and your staff have pursued solutions doggedly, passionately, persistently, and they just will not give up. So you're leaving no stone unturned, and as you continue in your pursuit of finding a solution, I saw we may have a break in the clouds today.
We did, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. Congratulations.
At least
the
state is taking our alternatives under consideration.
Fantastic. So I just wanted to publicly acknowledge that effort and thank you and your staff for your energy around it. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Keep fighting.
That's what he always says.
That's what he says, and you always have another lap in you, right? Okay. So just recently, the agency completed a scanning project to convert all paper files onto our new online document imaging and document management system called OnBase. This program allows for easier access to files for employees, as well as workflow and data analysis features that will assist in improving the efficiency of agency processes and performance. The project involves scanning of each document in over 100,000 case files, and also included documenting the work processes for all of our departments. Other accomplishments in 2017 include our continued work in collaboration with our interagency county partners, such as Franklin County Job and Family Services, through our Compass Court Diversion Program. And the agency couldn't provide the child support services that it does without the services of the Franklin County Courts, the Clerk of Courts, the Sheriff's Department, the Prosecutor's Office, the Children's Services, and the Data Center. Other collaborations include fatherhood programming with the Columbus Urban League, Father to Father program, and Action for Children, Father Factor, and New Beginnings for New Fathers. In 2017, the Child Support Empowerment Resource and Job Fair had another successful year. Close to 300 adult participants were provided a unique opportunity to meet with a variety of employers, education and training providers, social service agencies, government agencies that provided opportunities for them to become economically self-sufficient and more actively engaged in the lives of their children. 160 partners and 60 volunteers also participated in the event. And there are too many collaborations and accomplishments to detail here due to our time constraints, so we compiled a report of accomplishments and initiatives that we included in your budget packets. Since 2010, the agency, through the competitive grant process, has secured over $4 million in federal demonstration grant funds. We have secured more grant funding than any other child support program in Ohio. These grants have provided us the resources to conduct experimental work in program analysis and process design. All of our grants use random control trial testing, the most scientifically rigorous method of project intervention testing available. These grant initiatives include behavioral interventions to advance family self-sufficiency, or BIAS. And this was actually our first dive into applying behavioral science into child support programming and into the world of behavioral diagnosis and design. We tested the use of behaviorally informed reminders on increasing the frequency of payments made by parents, their child support payments. Through this project, we not only learned which prompts influence clients' behavior, but also increased collections by $350,000 during a 4-month period. Just this month, a federal research report entitled Nudging Change in Human Services was submitted by the research team of MDRC to the Office of Planning, Research, and Evaluation within the Administration for Children and Families, which is a division of Health and Human Services. The report is a comprehensive review of the BIAS project among all of the national sites, with expert commentary provided by public policy experts and prominent professors of economics from institutions such as the University of Michigan, Washington, and Harvard.
You're allowed to say that this week.
It's in a different context.
I know,
Yeah.
but they also are vanquished, so you can say that this week.
Okay, thank you.
Game's over.
Franklin County was mentioned in this national report numerous times and is included within the list of distinguished experts in behavioral science. We provided expert commentary from a county-level perspective, which has been published in the report, giving Franklin County national notoriety in the field of behavioral science. A link to this report is included on the PowerPoint, which you can't see. However, we will email each of you a copy of the report.
Great.
Understanding Perspectives, Behavioral Interventions for Child Support Services, or the acronym UP-BIX, is our next project. The Bix Project is the next iteration, or the next phase of the BIAS project. It's a 5-year, $1.2 million federal grant, which applies science, again, from the field of behavioral economics to better understand clients in their context and to craft government programs that set them up for success. So phase 1 of this project concluded several months ago and focused on the modification process, or rather, this is the process in which we review child support orders. Our intervention included improving the modification application and process and the information forms, as well as providing proactive and individualized reminders and assistance in an effort to increase the instances in which clients applying for a review actually receive one. While the final data analysis is still pending, the initial results show that the forms changes had a modest and kind of insignificant impact on increasing the rate of review. However, it appears that our outreach and customer service component increased the number of parents receiving a review pretty significantly by 10%. This is significant in both research terms and practically speaking, because keeping as many child support orders as possible updated and right-sized is a major goal of the program. So phase 2 of this project will be launching soon. It will involve reaching out to clients through a variety of mediums to get a larger percentage of clients registered on our online portal. And the portal allows them to connect with their caseworker electronically, directly electronically, and submit their own updates, track payments, and print their own payment histories. Our next grant is the Family Forward Demonstration Grant, or FFD. This is a 5-year, $3.1 million grant, partially funded privately, which will help non-custodial parents gain upskilled employment and receive training within in-demand job sectors. Our goal through this program is not just to find parents jobs, but to upskill and train them for careers and fields they can excel and grow in within our community. Our latest grant award is the PJAC grant, or Procedural Justice Informed Alternatives to Contempt. This grant represents an alternative approach to the traditional court contempt process. It's an opportunity for child support to implement procedural justice principles combined with programs to overcome barriers to employment. Again, PJAC is a 5-year grant with a value of $2.29 million per site. PJAC utilizes positive program strategies to affect child support payments rather than the traditional civil contempt and potential jail time. Access Visitation is our smallest grant with an annual award of $36,550. These funds are used to provide mediation services to clients who wish to negotiate a parenting time order. At the same time, or really any time thereafter, a monetary support order is established. The CSEA has participated in this grant since 2010, but has only been offering mediation services since this year. We are pleased that there have been approximately 5 successful mediations as we just kind of got started with this and getting it up and going. And we will continue to expand the program this year and in years to come. So for 2018, our strategic initiatives are to continue the commitment to improving current programs and services to ensure that our clients receive the highest quality, family support focused services available. To continue our investment in developing our staff, strengthen our leadership capacity, and nurture and celebrate diversity as it is paramount to our future success. We realize the importance of efficient and effective communication within and outside of our agency's purview and are committed to continuous improvement. Increasing the agency's profile throughout the service area is vital to our success and engagement with our parents. We will create and capitalize on new opportunities to strengthen our outreach in numerous ways through better branding, marketing, and collaborative initiatives. The agency will strive to increase its financial sustainability while maintaining mission-oriented projects throughout our service area. In order to ensure that the agency is fully committed through a realistic implementation process to our 2018 strategic initiatives, the agency will implement these strategies through a new strategic plan in which the entire agency will participate. So as with our 2017 accomplishments, a more detailed list of 2018 initiatives detailed through each department, again, are in your packets. So we would like, on behalf of the agency, to thank you for your generous support of the CSEA. We are deeply appreciative not only of the funding that you have provided to us and that is critical to our agency, but also of your attendance at our community events and the support for the state and national leadership role we have taken. Myself and the leadership team here today are happy to answer any questions you may have.
I'm just trying to make sure I understand exactly how much of the general fund you do, out of your budget, you do receive. I'm confused about that a little bit.
Ameka is our fiscal administrator. So currently, we are
What was the question again?
How much of your budget is general fund?
The subsidy is approximately 40%, including of our total, funding for the local match. That's what it is.
total dollars.
It's approximately 2.4 for the subsidy.
Okay. Okay.
if we don't get the J-car rule changed or modified, and that funding reduction
Mm-hmm.
would happen, and maybe this is a question for administration too, what would we need to do to make the agency be able to perform near or at the level that it's able to perform? I mean, what you're doing now is a mandated function, and you're doing it in a very creatively good way, plus bringing in federal grants and other things. And it's unfortunate that there's a possibility out there of losing
Mm-hmm.
funds.
Mm-hmm.
What would we need to do with general fund dollars in addition to the 2 million?
Commissioner, the subsidy wouldn't necessarily have to increase. I believe that based on kind of even the 4% cut, based on your state dollars, that's about $100,000 each year that would be
Right.
phased in over a number of years, that on top of the increase from, I think, just under 2.2 million from this year to the anticipated 2.5 million for next year. So as we continue, we kind of see continued growth in that as well. So I believe the state revenue is a little over $2 million at this.
Our state revenue now, or previously, was around 2.5 million. We're looking at 1.7. And what makes this funding so critical is because local funding is used as state match to draw down federal dollars. So for every dollar lost, you basically lose 3 times that amount. Also, the hold harmless clause being proposed in the rule, right now it's at 10%.
It's at 10% the first year.
Right.
And then 4% thereafter.
No, it's,
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
It's the
It
other
was
way.
proposed to be 4% when the rule first came out, because we were in the middle of a budget period. So that was a consideration that most of those funds were already encumbered. So the actual proposal for the state allocation rule would be a 20% hold harmless clause year after year. So you would not lose more than 20% of your previous year's allocation. I'm not sure when the rule, actually comes out, if that will be 10% or 20%. We'll see. But we're hoping that it's 10, so that we can phase in to the change a little bit more deliberately.
That would take about 4 years. If it's
Right.
10%.
Right.
And Commissioner, just as a follow-up too, just looking at the historical data, even as early as 2015, the state amount was 2.8 million. So already it's been reduced by almost 400,000 just between 2015 and what's proposed in 2018.
Right. And for the program in general, our funding has been stagnant for 7 years.
And that the agency over time has become more and more efficient. As you know, investment was made in a content management system, which has reduced the number of paper processed by the agency to make the agency more efficient. But these type of reductions would translate, in the absence of a general fund subsidy, into positions.
Correct.
And those numbers we've talked about is as many as 30 FTEs. So you would have to become more efficient than we are right now, which in some effects would set us back when we're talking about the quality of the services and the amount of support collected for the 80,000 children, because with fewer people, you aren't able to reach out and touch as many of the parents as you need to.
Can't
And
provide that individual case management.
it will have a negative impact on our agency performance, which depending on what variation of the formula is adopted, which may even further exaggerate the reductions that we would face.
The efficiencies were as a result of high loan base, that system.
We're already seeing efficiencies regarding the time it takes staff to process cases. Just, practically speaking, you don't have to go get a paper file from the file room. You don't have to have that delivered. It's right at your fingertips. We have dual monitors so that you can look at the case file and the support enforcement tracking system at the same time, and processing is so much faster.
That was the imaging system, right?
That's the imaging system,
loan-based
but it also
system.
incorporates workflow management, and we have one of our designers here today, David Kowaleski, if you have specific technical questions. But the workflow technology that's used, no longer are we passing processes along through a file or through paper.
Right.
All of the processes now flow electronically and go into queues for people to pull out and do the work. So it's, as far as the time savings, it's incredibly more efficient. Not only that, the supervisors and managers have a much higher capability to manage the work that's being done. They can see everything that's in everyone's queue, where it is, how long it's been there, how long it's been in each process. It's an incredible management tool. So OnBase we're already seeing, even though we're just in the first year of implementation, we're already seeing the efficiencies surrounding that. And I also want to note too that because of our fiscal situation, we're scrutinizing every vacant position that we have to ensure that there's an operational need to fill it, and that the service demand still requires it. So we're already looking at that now in anticipation of what might happen in the future.
President O'Grady, Commissioners. Susan, we were talking earlier, JFS presented to us earlier and talked about some of the challenges, whether it's cuts in federal funding, the local or general fund match. Can you talk a little bit about the issues that population faces, and then how that exacerbates the challenges with collection, child support collection?
The issues that the
JFS population that
Okay.
you work with.
Okay. So we have a population in the child support system that runs the gamut. I mean, we have CEOs of corporations, and we have people that are homeless. So our work, if a parent is employed, our work is immensely easier because we issue an income withholding, and basically once those payments start coming in, it's pretty much automatic. But within the population of our clients that are challenged, whether it's drug and alcohol issues, whether it's incarceration, whether it's formerly incarcerated, whether it's just chronic unemployment, educational deficiencies, things like that. Those are the clients that we really have to work with. That's our 34%, of our 100% that we're getting 30% collections on. So that's the population that we really need to be providing those subsistence supports, those employment services supports for. So as our funding, decreases, our ability to work with those individuals individually is very much challenged. When you have support officers with over 1,000 cases, we have to try to think strategically. How do we manage such caseloads? So our enforcement managers are here today, and they will tell you they're looking at stratification strategies, basically dividing up the paying cases versus the non-paying cases. And how do you manage those in a way that you can provide more attention, more supportive services to those clients that are having more challenges? I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, yeah, and then you become that collection agency rather than
Yeah.
providing the services to help people be able
Correct.
to do what they need
Correct.
to do.
I have been advocating for Senate Bill 125. It's the new guidelines bill, and the self-sufficiency reserve in that bill is a very necessary component for our low-income obligors, because what we're finding is that if we established orders that they have no ability to pay, they oftentimes will go into the underground economy, or we will lose contact with them. And the families that need that those child support payments the most, are going without. So the self-sufficiency reserve will create a kind of a shaded area in the guidelines that only looks at the non-custodial parent's income and ensures that they have minimum subsistence levels in order so that they can support themselves, so that they can support their families. So, and in case in point, 4 of our 10 zip codes with the largest accumulation of debt is within the low-income neighborhoods of Franklin County, and within 4 zip codes, they owe $77 million of the debt. Basically, about 25% of all debt.
Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome.
Thanks, guys. So that concludes the budget hearings for today. Thanks. We only ran over by an hour.
Ran out of energy. Ran out of energy.
Here you go, Lori.